great morning book, Larry the Sommelier. Gary Vaynerchuck. Now, last summer when Tanner put on one of his podcasts while we were driving in the car, I had no idea who this character was. He cussed a lot, he talked about business, he talked about wine, he talked about all sorts of different things, and I was just so confused, and honestly I didn't really like him. And then as the months went by, I realized, wow, he actually cares about people, and so I started researching him. I started seeing him, actually the podcasts were actually this show that he does on YouTube called the AskGARYVEE show, and I thought that was really awesome. And so I learned more about him, and these are what my days started to look like.
To make a lot of money in a hyper-competitive business world in 2016. I'm not telling you that's the light to happiness. The light to happiness is to be so self-aware of what makes you tick and go do that. But don't complain that you're not making it when you're not doing actions to make it. Like, I don't complain about missing my family. You will not hear me say that, because I'm not entitled to say that, because my actions don't map to that pain. You're just doing the reverse. You're complaining. Like, woe is me, unfair. It's not unfair. It's talent and work. Period. You want to call that your parents had sex at a moment that turned you into a human and didn't give you a certain talent that you subjectively wish you had? Cool.
So that's basically what my day started looking like. I would listen to him all the time. I'd watch podcasts during laundry, all sorts of different things, because I really thought that he brought value to my life. And so because Gary Vaynerchuck is really great off script, I'm going to try to be as off script as possible during this video. So let's start talking about this book. Because he's just so passionate about people, he's passionate about his audience, he loves and cares about his family, and he would literally drop everything for his family, and he loves the Jets. And so I was not surprised when he started off this book with acknowledgments. That just fits his personality so well. And that already put me in a really great mood of gratitude to start off this amazing book. But I also listened to the audio program, because the audio program was fresh, it was new, it was exciting, it was exhilarating, and you got some exclusive answers that were really updated, because social media and technology is always growing and always updating. Things that were said 4 years ago are completely different now. And so he just compiled a bunch of questions from the show and re-answered them, although a lot of his answers were still the same, but he brought more value into this book. And the audio program's even better, because if there was a question that was asked about something that happened that weekend, he would literally talk about that exact weekend and what happened. And that was just really awesome to have that freshness, that newness that came with the audio program. And another thing that the audiobook had is he had a lot of winners, and he had a lot of announcements, and what he did is he did like contests and buy this many books or anything like that, and also he just did raffles, like a bunch of things during his book launch and to get excited about the book. And so there are actually book winners questions in here, and he asked those book winners to ask questions on the show, which is so exciting that he would do that. I'm just going to show you a couple of the book winners. Sorry. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. There you go. See, one of the book winners is in the book, and they got asked on the audio program. And not only was it book winners, but also he had people like Kevin Jonas, John Legend, Jack Welch, Seth Godin, his brother AJ was on there, and his trainer Mike, and DJ Black Coffee, and just so many other people, so many great influencers out there, especially some Jets that were on there too. It was just so exciting to kind of be a part of that and feel the excitement of the audiobook. So honestly, I like the audiobook a lot. And usually I do my first chapter synopsis, and so instead of that, I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite answers to these questions, so you can find out what these answers are and see why they're my favorites. The first one is, what are some easy ways to become more self-aware? The second is, why are so many people afraid of Snapchat, especially marketers? And I personally felt that way for so long. I don't know why I was so afraid of Snapchat, when actually Gary, during Christmas break, during Christmas break, he actually got on Snapchat hardcore because he was with his family so much, and he took a break from his show. And so the next show after that, he talked about he felt like a 13-year-old girl because he was on Snapchat all the time. And then that inspired me to get on Snapchat, and now I can see the addiction that everybody has for it. It is so fun, really great. Definitely take a screenshot of that snap code right there. And lastly is, how exactly did your mother instill self-confidence in you? That question hit home for me and I really loved it. And I can't wait for Perfectly Parented to come out. And definitely Gary Vaynerchuck, just know that when Crush It comes out, I'm gonna contact you, or not comes out, I'm gonna be part of that book, because Crush It is the reason why I'm here today. And I feel like I would be a pretty good success story in that book. Next is, thank you so much HarperCollins for publishing this amazing book. I really loved it, and if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have this book. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy every moment.